All right, I want to go over CFU 8 through 12. I'm hoping you were able to do these. So you should have got the A value from the standard form equation. So we know A was 1. It was given right here as well. And then the vertex is 3 comma negative 14. We get that from the graph. So that's our H, and there's our K. So this one should have been Y equals 1 multiplied by X minus 3 squared, and then minus 14. All right, our next one, the vertex is negative 1 comma 9. So H is negative 1, K is 9. We know that the A value is negative 1, which you got right here. That's negative 1's the A value. So it's Y equals negative 1 times X plus 1 squared, because that's really X minus negative 1, which becomes X plus 1 squared plus 9. Ooh, great moment here. Look at this. See this number here? That is not the y-intercept. See how the y-intercept is 0, 8? So I just showed you standard form today, right? And the C value is the y-intercept, but I want you to realize when we have vertex form here, the K value is not the y-intercept, and students get that confused all the time. All right, so you got to recognize in vertex form, this is not the y-intercept, okay? All right, our next one, this is where we have an A value that's 0.5. So I could have wrote 0.5 here. I decided to write 1/2, but 1/2 or 0.5 here is fine. Times X minus 6 squared minus 15. Again, where do these numbers come from? The vertex over here. So H is positive 6, K is negative 15. We know the formula is X minus H, so that's why it's X minus positive 6 squared minus the 15. Again, look at your y-intercept, it's 3. So again, this number is clearly not the y-intercept. All right, on CFU 11, the A value this time is 2. So we see the A value is, again, the coefficient of x squared. So we know that this is 2. And then our vertex is this negative 1, negative 11. So there's our H and our K. So it's going to be x minus negative 1 because x plus 1 squared. And then it's going to be minus 11. Again, the y-intercept here was 0, negative 9. Okay, so the negative 9 is the y-intercept. Now, look at this. You're going to learn how to see this, the A value from the graph as well. Look at this. I go over 1. Usually I go up 1, right, if the A value is 1. But this time I'm going from negative 11 to negative 9. I go up 2. All right, so you can see the A value. When you go from the vertex, you go over 1. How much do you go up? If you go up 1, it's just like the parent graph. If you go up 2, the A value is 2. If you go up 5, the A value is 5. If you go down 1, the A value is negative 1. If you go over 1 and down 2, the A value will be negative 2, and so on. I'll give you a better visual, and we'll talk about that more another day. But just giving some people kind of a head start on understanding the A value from the graph. All right, for our last one, the A value is right here, so it's negative 3. Our HK was the vertex here, so H is negative 1.5, K is positive 19.75. So our equation is Y equals negative 3 times X plus 1.5 squared plus 19.75. All right, so what I want you to recognize is we just had these 3, or all these 5 we just did. All the equations we're given were in standard form, and they were represented by these graphs. Well, now we just wrote the equation now in vertex form that is represented by the exact same graph. Exact same graph. Tomorrow, I'm going to give you the third form, factored form, which again is going to be written a different way. It's going to give us different information about the parabola, and it's going to be represented by the exact same parabola that we're doing right now. So you could have all 3 forms of a quadratic represented by the single graph. Okay? All right, hope that helps.